Hello and welcome to my Spookathon vlog. This is day one of the readathon and it is Monday. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I thought I'd just quickly go over my TBR pick so you know what I'm reading for this readathon. If you haven't seen my TBR video, it's like 2.5 minutes long. I'll link it above and below for you before I spoil it in this video, so feel free to go and click that before you continue watching this video. But my TBR for Spookathon consists of Risk by Fleur Ferris, and off the top of my head this is Read a Thriller for challenge 1. I'm about 30 pages into this one already. For challenges 4 and 5, I can't remember what they are, but I know they're like graphic novel and spooky word, I think, and those ones are Monstrous Volume 2 and Monster, oh it's the wrong way around, and Monster Volume 2 as well. My last pick for my TBR is It by Stephen King, which is a behemoth of a book, and I'm listening to the audiobook. I'm just going to see how far through I actually get in that book. I don't know if I'm actually going to finish it, but we'll see. I'm about 5% through the audiobook and I'm listening to it on my commutes to and from my temporary job at the moment, so I'll hopefully get through a bit of that one. So these are the books that I want to finish for this readathon. Let's hope I can do it because my vlogs have been kind of varied. I've either read a whole bunch of stuff or I've barely read anything, so I hope this vlog is going to be a positive one where I read a ton of books. I've also still got Muse of Nightmares that I'm currently reading as well, so if I get through those books then I'll jump straight into Muse of Nightmares. And I'm also waiting for Vengeful by V.E. Schwab to arrive in the mail, and I don't know when that's coming, so that might jump onto my TBR as well, but we'll see what happens. Hello, it is Tuesday. It's around 4 o'clock in the afternoon again. I'm probably going to update you around 4 o'clock every day because I'm going to be working for the rest of the week, but I managed to power through a ton of It by Stephen King today. I listened to it at work between phone calls and that was awesome. So I'm actually like 32% through that book and it's 44 hours long. I can't believe I've made this much progress on it already, to be honest. I really hope I get really close to the end, or maybe I can say I hope I can finish it this week. I don't want to set my goal for It too high, but I also now really want to try and finish it. Let's see what happens there. But I'm also reading Risk by Fleur Ferris and I'm about 100 pages into this and it's about 270 pages long and the text is fairly big. It's a young adult book that is for the younger tier of young adult, so like 13, 14, start of high school. So this is a really quick read for me and I'm reading it on my breaks at work and I'm already really far in, and I was reading a little bit last night too. So I can probably finish that by Wednesday night, I reckon. I'm gonna set that goal on it. And then after that I'm either gonna pick up Monster, which is the manga that I've got on my TBR, or Monstrous, which is the comic that I've got on my TBR. And as a side note, I realised that all the books I'm reading for Spookathon just have one word in their title. I've got It, Risk, Monster and Monstrous. And then if it comes in the mail this week and I unbox it, Vengeful. All of them have one name in the title. Hello, it's about 8:30 on a Wednesday morning and I just wanted to drop in because I've been listening to It and I listened to it on my drive here and I'm at work, by the way. And I just wanted to drop in and say that I love it when a character is genre savvy. So one of the boys in this story named Richie, him and this other character, I don't really want to spoil the situation, but they're basically investigating something in this abandoned place and one character suggests let's split up and I'll go that way, you go that way, and he's like, no, I'm gonna stay with you, which is really cool because I love it when characters don't go with what the genre says they should go with. You know, if it's a typical horror story, the kids would split up, one of them would die, you know, something like that, but instead they stayed together and mayhem ensued, and it was just, that was such an action-packed chapter. That was a lot of fun. I'm down to about 30 hours out of 44, so I've listened to a ton of It. It is confronting. There's definitely a trigger warning for abuse and violence. And it's just, I don't really know how to describe it. I think it's like of its time in terms of like quote-unquote problematic content. I feel like a lot of people would start this book and then hate it because of the things that it shows and that it features, but because it's all part of the story and the mystery is unfolding and I like the characters, then I'm not really bothered by it. So anyway, cars are driving past me and starting to park close by, so I just wanted to drop in and mention that because it was just an interesting thought I had on the drive over here. But anyway, I'll catch you in my next clip. Bye! Hello again! I keep trying to bring you new angles because I'm aware that this vlog is just going to be me being a talking head almost every day. So I do apologise for that, but hopefully you like my Sanderson bookshelf in the background. I'm dropping in to update for day 3 of SPOOKATHON and I'm 50% through Risk by Fleur Ferris. Let me just get it. Yesterday I said I wanted to finish this today, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But I want to get this finished and then I also want to maybe pick up another book by Fleur called Black. They're pretty fast reads. I reckon I could do it if I really pushed. I'm going to pick up Monstrous or Monster next. I feel like because they're quite visual then I'll end up getting through those fairly fast. I also have In the Miso Soup. This is a horror novel set in Japan. Considering I'm going to Japan very soon, I don't know if this is a wise move. But I first saw this on Dana's channel at And Book Hoarding. I don't think she's made booktube videos for a while, but I've stayed subscribed because I like her content. Every now and then she shares a new video. She read this ages ago. I found it in a bargain bin at my local Dimmick store, so I ended up grabbing it and it's been on my shelf for a few years. So I thought knocking it off in this readathon would be a good idea. And it's not very long, so I probably can get through it if I, like I said with Black, if I push. I'm a little out of breath because I'm excited. So I've just got the manga, the graphic novel and Risk, and then In the Miso Soup, and also Muse of Nightmares if I end up picking that up this week as well. And for it, I'm almost 50% through, so that is amazing, to be honest. I've really surprised myself with that one. You've probably seen my clip already of when I was talking about it in the car. I do like the detail in it, I like the characters in it. There is like a lot of abuse in it though. It's very eerie, very creepy. It's not really horror yet, it's more just like minutely gory and suspenseful, I guess. There is this creature called It and you don't really know what its motives are. So while I'm reading it, I'm kind of suspending my disbelief. I'm like, why doesn't it just kill the kids? Like, why do they see it and then escape from their meeting with it like alive? Why does it give up on chasing them, kind of thing? I'm sure I'll find out at the end. I will update either in this vlog or in a reading wrap up anyway, so you will know when I do. But yeah, I think that's all I have to update for the moment, so hopefully next time I see you I will have finished something, but no promises. Hello, welcome to another car vlog. It is now Thursday, it's around 4:30 in the afternoon and I just got out of the post office and out of work. I've been listening to it like all day and I've got about 67% through, which is incredible. So I could potentially finish it in this readathon, which is insane. I'm also about 61% through Risk and I'm really enjoying this as well. This had a really not a dark turn, but I'm actually a lot more emotional reading this than I thought I was. I haven't cried or anything, but it's just really nestled into my heart. I said at the start of this vlog that this is like a 13 to 14-year-old younger YA read, but I honestly would recommend it to anybody. This is about two friends and they are both on an online chat room and they get contacted by this guy, and so one of them goes off to meet him and then doesn't turn up, and the other friends cover for her while she's gone to meet him. So she ends up going missing and they don't really know what has happened to her, if anything has happened to her, if she'll come back. And I like how this really doesn't shy away from consequences and being honest. And also I know that Fleur, I've seen her talk a couple of times and I think she's amazing, and she has actually been in the police force herself. So the fact that the first port of call of rationality of these kids is to go to the police rather than to try and solve all the mysteries themselves is something that I really love, and it's so genuine and it's not a preachy message either, which is really, really great. So yeah, I was reading this on my break at work and I was trying not to well up with tears because of the, I guess, not intensity, but I don't know another word for it, the intensity of this book and the narration and the consequences and how these characters all intermingle and interrelate and their experiences. Anyway, I'm just really liking this book. It's probably going to be a 4 or 4.5 stars, but I'm not quite finished it yet. So I've got about 100 pages left to go. And then as for it, I know I mentioned something earlier also in my car about how the content of this book could be potentially problematic. Potentially. And I did say that this kind of reflects the time that it was written in, and by that I mean it's written in the 1980s, and one of the kids is a black main character and he often gets called and shouted at, and basically what I'm trying to say is the N-word is used a lot in this narrative, and it's not just used by that character, it's used by everybody as a derogatory thing. And there's also a lot of abuse in the book, and it's kind of treated as normalized because the town of Derry is massively screwed up because of it and its influence on the town. The violence in the town is like 60% more likely to occur than it is in anywhere else. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of clarify that those things in the book are very bad, but despite that, I don't want people to be like, oh, you're enjoying this book, because I am enjoying it. It's written really well. The descriptions are really, really lush. The characters, even though they're all ridiculously flawed and they've all got their own unique kind of ticks, they're all really interesting and I really like the banter between them. I do know something that happens at the end of this book and I'm kind of dreading how it unfurls. It's a major spoiler, so I'm not going to say what, but I asked Dave what it was when he wrote my guest review and he told me. It wasn't in the movie, which I've seen recently, and I actually really like that movie. So if you're iffy about reading the book, I definitely recommend seeing the movie that was made very, very recently. It's like a Hollywoodized version of what it is, basically. And one of the characters also in the book, Henry, he's like the school bully, but he's a full-on psychopath. And I don't mean that as like a throwaway comment. I mean he's genuinely a psychopath. Like, he kills animals, he tortures kids, he's messed up. And he is a very watered down version of that in the film. So if the book is kind of like too much for you, then I would point you in the direction of the film instead. I'm really conflicted about how to rate this, and I haven't even finished it yet, but I've been churning over the thought while I listen. I really want to rate it like a 5 for the writing alone, because I think the writing is incredible, but the themes in it and the abuse and the violence are really confronting, and it's not really something that I like. I feel like I'd be leaning more towards a 4 stars for that reason, maybe a 3.5, but I don't want to, like, Stephen King's an awesome writer and I'm really liking it, but I don't know. I'm rambling at this point, but I haven't even finished the book yet. I'm 67% through. Oh, potentially I'll finish it tomorrow. If you're doing Spookathon, let me know what books you read, I guess. I know it was a popular pick, so I'd be interested to chat to anybody who is reading it or has read it, so please chat to me in the comments if you did, or if you have it on your TBR or anything. I would love to hear what everyone else thinks, because it is a product of its time and it's not necessarily aged well in the terms of like slurs and the gender binary and that type of thing, but really has anything. We're only now starting to question ourselves anyway. That's a whole other discussion. I'm not even going to dip my toe into that. That's not what this vlog is. But anyway, I'd better go home now because I want to change into my pajamas. So I'll catch you in my next clip. Bye. Hello, it's a bit of a late update today. It's about 6:30 in the evening and I'm at Dave's house in his I'm in his study. I wanted to report that I have finished Risk by Fleur Ferris. I finished this last night and I really, really loved this. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I love the rawness about this and the emotion of it and the honesty. I really just genuinely enjoyed this book and I definitely recommend it to anybody. I mean, I'm 25 and I said I would recommend this to a younger teen audience, which is about 13 to 14. Honestly, everyone should read it. Maybe if you've got kids, don't read it because this will put the fear of God in you for technology. But if you're not a parent, then yes, pick this up. So moving on from Risk, I ended up picking up another Fleur book, and that is Black. And all I know about this is it's potentially culty, and it follows this girl named Ebony and her nickname is Black. And then moving on from the Fleur Ferris books, I also am still reading it and I've literally got like an hour left, maybe an hour and a half. I know I mentioned before that I was going to give it about a 4 stars and I wanted to give it a 5 for the writing. That's still valid in terms of the writing. I think I'd give the writing between a 4 and 5. In terms of the themes and the content, I'd probably give it a 3 or a 3.5. The racism in it and the sexualization in it is a little bit too much for me, but I am really enjoying the story and I'm quite literally on the edge of my seat listening to the end. So it's definitely an intense read. But if you're looking for a more watered down family friendly version, I would definitely see the film instead. So plans for the weekend. Tomorrow we're going to yoga in the morning and then Dave's got some work to do, so hopefully in between that and going out for a Halloween party that night, I'll get some reading done. I brought with me Monster, Monstrous and In the Miso Soup, so they're definitely on the cards to finish this weekend, so keep your fingers crossed. And we're dressing up for the Halloween party at Dave's work, which I'm really excited about. We're doing some awesome like contact lenses things and makeup things, so I will definitely show you what happens there because I think it's awesome. We've got all this like fake blood stuff and spirit gum to stick stuff to our faces, so I'm excited. And then on Sunday we've got a family thing with my side, so just something for afternoon tea. So there is potential for a lot of reading to get done this weekend. I've just got to push myself and not be lazy. So hopefully this vlog doesn't fizzle at the end instead of crack. We'll find out. Hello, it is Saturday night and we are just going to head out to the Halloween party, but I wanted to drop in and show you my makeup because I think it's amazing, and kind of my costume. Oh, what a squat. We are about to head out and the Uber's being called like right now, so I really need to hurry up and film this clip. But I just wanted to drop in and tell you that today I finished It by Stephen King. I finished the last hour and a half of the audiobook and my feelings are really mixed. I feel like there's two of me wanting to review this book. There's one half that's like, I think this book is amazing, it's very well crafted, well written and atmospheric, and 5 out of 5 stars. The other one is like, I just like the racism, the sexualization and the time period that it kind of reflects, so that makes me lean more towards a 3.5 stars. So it's a book that confuses me a lot, but I did enjoy it. And the next audiobook that I'm probably going to pick up is Cress by Marissa Meyer, and I've got Cress, I've got Ferris and I've got Winter all ready to go as audiobooks on my phone, so I really can't wait to read those. I also started Monster today, the graphic novel, and I read about 40 pages of that and I really like it. So I'm really glad, because past me thought it was a little bit mediocre, but I'm glad that I'm enjoying the second volume. So anyway, you're probably very distracted by my contact because I can't stop looking at it on the screen either. I'd better get going, but I'll catch you in my next clip. Hello, it is the last day of Spookathon. It's about 1:20 in the afternoon on the Sunday. I thought I'd check in now and finish up this vlog because I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I'm coming down with a cold, I think. I ate some chilies last night and that mostly got rid of it, but I think going to the party and then getting back and showering and going to bed at 2:30 in the morning, that's what destroyed me. So my mouth is burning right now. I've had some more chilies, I've had some medicine, so I thought time to wrap up this vlog. So you've seen all my trials and tribulations about It by Stephen King, and I finished it and I gave it 3.5 stars. I wanted to give it 4, but I think I'm gonna sit on the 3.5. That will probably yo-yo back and forth while I think about it, but for now I'm just gonna keep it as 3.5 because it's the easiest thing to do. I also finished Risk by Fleur Ferris, and this is a Love Australian YA book, and it's about a girl who goes missing and the consequences of her action, not just on her but on everyone around her. And it was a surprisingly more emotional read than I initially thought it would be. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. I would recommend this to pretty much anybody, even though it's more tiered towards younger YA, because that, I guess that's the age range of the characters in the book. But honestly, I know this is in high schools in Australia as part of their curriculum, and I 100% understand why. This book was brilliant, so definitely go and pick it up if you've got a chance. I also started Black by Fleur Ferris. I don't actually know where I've put it, but I'm about 20 pages into that. I probably won't end up finishing that today, but it's on my TBR to finish overall this year anyway, so I will get to it eventually and I will finish it before December. I'm also reading Monster, and I read about 20 more pages today before I fell asleep and had a nap. So I'm on page 66 of this one. The beginning interested me, but it's kind of gone off on a few tangents that haven't really grabbed me. So I will finish this as well, but I don't know how I feel about it at the moment. It probably will pick up later on in the story. I think it's just setting the ground for what will happen later. So I'm interested to see how this goes. This is about a cat and mouse game between a surgeon and a serial killer. And I knew I wasn't really going to get to Monstrous, even though I put it on my TBR. This is very tentative. So I'm not really upset about the fact that I didn't really get to this one. And I chucked this in last minute because I got really excited about the fact that it was a Japanese horror story, but I honestly do not have time to read it. So I definitely won't be reading this before I head off to Japan because I won't have time. Well done past me. So these are the books that I ended up reading for Spookathon. Obviously I've not finished Monster yet, but I eventually will. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really enjoy filming vlogs. I wanted to do another vlog next week because I realised I've vlogged 3 out of 4 weeks of October so far, but given that I'm coming down with a cold, I'm not quite sure how that will turn out. So stay tuned, but it might not occur depending on how crappy I feel, because I need to talk to a camera and I don't know if I'll be able to do that with a really sore throat and a congested nose. Nobody really wants to hear that. But anyway, thank you again for watching and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye!